With that, Libra, I stopped the video. There's going to be 2 videos for you. One's going to be super brief, and it's just going to be me shuffling these very cards. I pressed stop by accident instead of pause. Let's continue. So generally what I'm seeing here is something resembling an aha moment for you. Something really exciting that you've probably been working hard for or yearning for even. And you might have even been growing impatient with, but finally it seems to be coming together. It looks like keeping the faith is a really important concept for you this week. And also recognizing your current bounty, okay? So being grateful in the moment for what you have and then allowing for that to be expanded upon, as opposed to feeling as though there is a lack and that you have to create something that doesn't exist. So that's what I see going on here. It's all going to be under the umbrella of knowing exactly what you want, exactly what you don't want, exactly what you're willing to do to get it, and how you are approaching this. Because you 10 to 1, and this happens to every sign, notwithstanding the wish, but the phrase "be careful what you wish for" is, that still exists because it's still very prominent. We have to, some things that we really, really want, once we do get them or once we get close to achieving that, for example, can take the breath out of us or can make us feel insecure about what we really want, especially if it's taken time. You've wanted something for a year or 2 years or however long, and you've worked for it and you've thought about it and you've put a lot of energy into it, and then it's starting to come to the surface or come to fruition, and then you second guess it. So there could be a notion of that with regard to this as well. But keep the faith. Know that what's happening is the best for you, especially if you're not getting what you wanted or what you thought strongly that you wanted and was working toward. It could be in your best interest that you're not getting that. But keep the faith, because something better for you awaits. And we're going to do that type of work or express that type of energy this week under the banner of truth and integrity. So let's look at why I'm saying this as the general concept for what's going on here. In your current position is blessings. This represents you this week. And this is about knowing that you already have everything, right? Even if it means you don't currently have an object of desire or a purchase or a status of any sort. And it's recognizing that even in the process of getting what you think you don't have is success. Or another way to frame that is to say that your aptitude for getting these things in your life, or even the probability because of resources in your life that you can attain certain goals that you have in mind for yourself, is itself a blessing. So please remember that not having something in your hand, but having the propensity and the resources to attain those things that you want is itself a blessing, and that you currently lack nothing, okay? So remember to build on what you currently have, and including successes, including desire, okay? Because this is going to help feed the energy that you need and the goal setting and the discipline in order to achieve what you truly want here. So remember that the work in getting what you want is itself a blessing. Another way to frame this in regard to this reading this week is to say that if, as I mentioned a moment ago, be careful what you wish for. Sometimes getting what you want, especially if it's taken some time, you could be a different person now, and you may not want it now, or you may want a different version of it, etc. So beware of that, and be grateful that you've been able to, differentiate that, and you are allowed to change your mind. And if that's all it is, then change your mind and start a different direction. Another way to frame this as well is to say that if you're not getting what you have worked for or what you are working toward for whatever reason this week, despite all efforts, it could be in your best interest, okay? I'm just putting that out there as well. In the influence to the current position is power. This is source energy, okay? This is, divine energy, divine power here that is flowing through all efforts. This is what, this is soul energy. This is what you would call desire in the human form, but it essentially is just not only potential, it's potential in addition to behavior, right? I mean, this is the opposite of daydreaming. This is the action involved with it. So action has been taken, or you are in pursuit of this behavior. So again, just be aware that things can change, or if things are changing and not exactly what you wanted for whatever reason, it could be in your best interest to maybe take stock of where you are now with regard to a goal or dream or a certain outcome that you truly want, and take stock of perhaps who you were or what condition or position you were in when you began this search or this work, and who you are now. Are you any different? Would you look at it differently? Would you have done things differently? Do you want a whole different outcome? This type of thing. And you can do this with love for yourself and for the process. You don't have to be hard on yourself. You don't have to berate yourself, especially if you've changed your mind or you're not getting whatever it is you thought you wanted. There's no need to be cruel to yourself here. You can be very kind about this process, because, as I said, there's something that's leading you to a much, much higher perspective here. I'm propelled to say, loftier goal. It doesn't have to be lofty in the sense where it's comfortable, okay? It doesn't have to be, an asset. It can be a loftier goal that you have for yourself, okay? Like a personal endeavor, status notwithstanding, because of what we're looking at with general energy, and we'll pay attention to this in just a moment. The reason why I keep saying that you're propelled into something greater and you need to take stock of what's going on now, and including recalling your blessings, your resources, your desire, all of these energies need to be acknowledged, okay? No one does anything alone. So we're always asking for help. We're always asking for insight. And this doesn't make a mockery of doing things alone or an autonomous search or endeavor. No person is an island. We all need other people to help us, and we all need to help other people. So have some faith in yourself while being gentle with yourself this week, Libra. And here we have, look, the second element of a divine power, or godlike propulsion, or guidance here, because divine guidance itself is looking at new beginnings. This is the influence. They jumped out together, of course, this being in your probable outcome position. So new beginnings, how exciting is this? And again, it doesn't equal you having to forego something altogether. It could just mean an element of it, a phase of it, a piece, etc. So you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak here, but you could have to take stock of something in order to get a better feel for what you're doing moving forward. But new beginnings does await. Here there is a bouquet, so there is a bounty that exists. Two elements of bounty here, blessings and new beginnings here. So keep the faith, keep light, divine guidance. If you feel compelled, if you feel a compulsion in a specific direction, sit still with that and see if that's coming from your heart. If that's coming from a heart space, I would continue in that direction. If it's coming from ego or the mind, really sit down with that. If it's driven by ego, it's probably more status involved. And what's the point? Who dies with their ego and their status? No one. But you can create a legacy by working through the heart, okay? And this also includes impacting other individuals very positively. So whether or not you are the person creating the legacy, you can help propel someone else's legacy. So remember it that way as well. Even if you're not producing exactly what you want for whatever reason, or in whatever time frame, heaven forbid, that you've planned or expected from yourself. There is another saying, God laughs at the person's, at our petty plans, right? They're important to us, but if we're honest with ourselves, we could be drawn or propelled in a different direction, and maybe that is a higher purpose for you. So really just examine what that purpose is for yourself. So truth and integrity is in the general energy card for the week. Of course, this touches on the rest of the reading. Truth and integrity. Make sure that this is your calling card this week, Libra. Truth. You need to be integral here with regard to other people, but ultimately yourself, okay? Of course, this is about healthy boundaries. Of course, this is about putting your foot down, but it is in truth. Right? It's not about ego. It's about, even if that is a concept, I'm using ego as a concept. I'm not saying your ego. I'm saying, status or perhaps how other people view us. It's important to all of us to be liked, for example, but it really isn't the end of the world if you're not. But if you're not, make sure it's in truth and not in ego, not in the concept of, I don't care if I'm liked, which is an untruth, right? We all do care that we're liked. Same with integrity. You not only want to express this, you want to expect it from other individuals. So make sure that you're spending time with other people who have these basic concepts down and have learned to differentiate between the heart and the ego. I'm not saying ego in terms of a bad, something that's bad either, okay? I'm saying that you don't want it to rule the heart or the way that you move ahead. The weasel, this is stealth. This is perhaps feeling like you have to. This is feeling as though you may have to be a little bit tricky or do something to get around something. It's not the end of the world if you have to do this. Just really understand why you would be doing this, particularly with regard to the company that you're keeping, okay? If you feel for any reason that you have to be slippery around something, whatever that is this week, Libra, maybe the question is more about why you would feel the need to do that as opposed to why you're doing it, right? Just putting that out there as well. Who are you communicating with that you feel that you would need to be slippery with? And here, to be fair, this actually represents your sign. Of course, you can see here we've got the scales. This is to be fair. This is really about taking a fair position. And what is general energy saying? The exact same thing. You really want to behave with integrity this week. Something will chew you up if you don't, or it will come back. Obviously, it always does. Anything that we do multiplies in threes. Just be aware of that as well. We've got a pearl on one side and then the fortune cookie with nope on the other and the wise owl on top of the crown here. You could be sitting pretty this week, but someone could knock this over for you. Make sure that you're in control of your own emotions. Make sure that you are behaving with integrity in pursuit of truth. Okay? And make sure that you're able, if there is something that needs to go to the wayside here, like I said, if there's something that, especially regarding a project or a theme that you're working on of any sort, make sure that you're able to, if you do need to release something or let something go here, that you're doing it with love, that you're able to let go because you have faith that you're moving in the right direction now. So ultimately, a really lovely week for you, and something new and beautiful can occur for you if you make room for it this week. Just make sure that it's under the banner, as I've said, of truth and integrity, and I think that you'll have a really easy breezy week for yourself, Libra. Sorry again for the mix up with the beginning and this one. I'm going to upload them both. I hope you understand why. But yeah, if you haven't watched the other one, this began rather abruptly because I cut off the other video. Sorry about that. Anyway, this is your reading. I really love reading for you. If you have a second, comment below. Let me know how this works out for you. And if you're not already, subscribe to my channel because I upload videos for your sign every single week. So until we meet next time, Libra, take good care. Bye for now.